From Las Vegas, Sandy Kastel and friends.
Here is Sandy Kastel.
Hi, and welcome to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Chef Michael.
Good morning, everybody. How are you?
Well, you're not even on your microphone, Michael.
Oh, you can hear
people
me.
can't even hear
Like
you.
hell they can't.
Hey, don't say that word.
Sure I can. Hell,
They
hell,
can't.
hell.
Stop it.
Hell.
Stop it.
Hell.
I'm going to knock you out.
Yeah, you take some friends.
Listen, we've got a special guest today here, a guest with us, David McAdams, president of Michael, president of McAdams Tax Advisory Group, LLC. And you might go, oh my gosh, Tax Advisory Group. Oh my gosh.
You need a guy like
good
him,
morning, David.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Dave, where you calling from?
So you guys keep it light over there. I'm in Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, I love Memphis, Tennessee. Boy, they got some great crawfish out there and some catfish.
Crawfish. They got catfish.
Yeah, they do.
Barbecue.
Is that what that is out there? Mostly barbecue. That's wonderful.
Yeah, but the main reason that he's calling today, Michael, is because he talks about safeguarding your digital estate. Do you know what your digital estate is, Michael?
Yes, I do. I'm worth about $45 billion.
On your digital estate? David, why don't you tell us a little bit about our digital estate? Because it's something that I hadn't heard that term before, but it makes a lot of sense.
Right. So your digital estate is considered anything that you access online, on your computer, in a cloud, anything that could have an emotional or financial value. It can, examples might be emails, social media accounts, digital photo albums, movie collections. They're even calling, video game avatars part of your digital estate.
Oh my
Online
gosh.
subscriptions, investment accounts. So it's kind of a growing list of what they're calling your digital estate. Even frequent flyer miles are thrown into the mix at this point.
Well, so I don't understand. You mean anything that we do online is our digital estate? So what happens? What does it matter?
Well, there was a recent study, McAfee, the security company, studied, showed that the average person has about $35,000 in digital assets that could include anything from iTunes libraries to sensitive personal records. It sounds like you have someone there in the studio with billions of dollars in assets in digital estate. But, so people do have assets that have value. But even beyond the monetary value, you often get into a sentimental value of those assets.
Well, how can you put a value
on?
A
big controversy right now is we're seeing death events.
Can he hear me?
Where people are unable to obtain the passwords, the secret questions that people set up, and they're unable to access a lot of those photo libraries and determine who owns the library.
David, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, but you can't. I don't think you could hear me very well because I was trying to talk to you. So how do you put a value on your personal things that you have up there?
Well, it's not necessarily that you can put a monetary value on it. For example, emails could seem worthless to you, but they might be treasure to loved ones, or they could actually be keys to managing your estate if they have information in there that can help you obtain passwords and get into accounts that you may or may not have access to.
Yeah, passwords I can understand because if I wanted to try to get in something of Michael's, for instance, I wouldn't know what his passwords are.
You don't need. You grab my credit cards. You get into them all the time.
and actually, he is a chef, David, and and he is a
chef,
and he has special recipes. And so you're right. If he had his recipes all locked up in a file online, I guess, and he wouldn't want anybody to be able to get into those and access them.
Well, they're worth billions of dollars, according to him. So you definitely want to safeguard that part of your digital estate.
Well, it's a funny thing. People write cookbooks. You open up a restaurant and you turn around and you have recipes. And you make the chefs and the people that you teach them how to make these different dishes.
Sure.
You make them sign a waiver, a no-compete clause, where they can't go do that. And it's ridiculous because what happens, you got cookbooks that are out there, with those recipes in it. The key is it's the person itself to do it. It's like a song. Sinatra could sing a song like Ladies of Tramp, for instance. Then Tony Bennett can do it, and Lady Gaga can do it. You know, here's the bottom line when it comes to cooking and chefing and all that other kind of stuff. Recipes are sent down from generations to generations. Every nationality, every race, creed, and color. It doesn't make any difference. It's the person that makes it itself, and it's the love that you put behind that cooking. Because I've been cooking for over 50 years.
Yeah, it's their personal twist on it too.
Right,
because a lot of times you take a basic recipe and you modify it. But what we're talking about here is the fact that we put everything. I mean, now people are putting everything out online. And now you mentioned something about even the information that you have for your personal accounts that are your banking accounts, I guess, all these records that you have that are out there. So what happens with them if something happens to us and we're no longer here anymore?
That's a great question, and that's why this is such a huge issue now, because the short answer is it depends. If you have an email account like Yahoo or Gmail or Hotmail, each different company may have different terms and conditions. For example, they may say if the account is inactive for a period of time, such as 240 days, they're going to shut down the account. And some of the companies are saying that nobody has a right to that information. You may even have to go to court to get a document to provide to that carrier in order to gain access to that information. And many people are now starting to include language in their wills and legal documents that will designate a specific person to be in charge of your digital estate, and also determine what that digital heir, if you will, is allowed to have access to, or what instructions that you might leave them to carry out on your behalf in a death event. So it's a big issue. The states are still trying to catch up. The laws are changing, and they're just not there yet right now.
Well, so basically, so what do? You just tell people what you think they should do?
Well, there are best practices. It's sort of like if you are going to have personal security, like changing your computer password every 90 days or making sure your antiviral software is up to date. There are also best practices in what you should do to manage your digital estate. If you'd like, I can give you a short list of things that people should be doing right now.
That'd be great.
Their digital estate.
You'd like that, wouldn't you, Michael?
I got the chills. I can't wait.
It's pretty exciting, so just hold on. The first thing you want to do is literally make a list. Make a list of all your email, social media accounts, online accounts.
If you can remember the list.
You start by making a list. The second thing you have to do is write down all the passwords, the answer to your security questions, and leave your representative specific instructions. The third thing you want to do is know the laws where you live. Every state could have a different law, and there are even some federal issues with if you access an account because someone left you their password, you might be violating federal fraud laws, and you might be going against the policies and provisions that a company has. So it's very complex. And it's more than just a privacy issue. You need to be explicit in outlining who you want to give access and to what you want to have access. And that's part of identifying who should be in charge of your digital assets. So these are a few things that you need to do initially to start the process.
Okay. Well, what's your favorite Italian dish?
What the hell's that got to do with this?
That was a good transition, wasn't it?
That was unbelievable. I tell you, Dave,
no, seriously, David. Do you eat Italian food out there in Memphis?
Of course he does.
Quickly.
What is that? What would be gone very quickly?
Pizza. If it's anywhere in my vicinity, it's gone.
Pizza.
Yeah, what kind of pizza do you like?
Do you have a few hours? I took a trip to Boston, and I literally spent the entire day going to 5 different pizza places, starting at about 10 a.m.
He's a pizza food junkie.
Well, let me tell you, and I'm very proud to be Italian. You know what I'm trying to say to you?
Proud to be Italian.
I am. I have purple feet. Unfortunately.
I've been meaning to talk to you about that.
Thank you, sweetheart. Unfortunately for me, I broke the trend when I married out of my race, and I married Irish. Which was, the Italians always went for the white, blonde, redhead, blue-eyed girls, and all the, those the girls always went for the Italian guys, Latins, It's the opposite of the trap.
Italiano.
You know what I mean? But my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my great-grandfather, the bloodline was all Italian. Now, 75, 80 years ago, when you were in Italy, if you were from Naples, you married a girl from Naples, was Napolitan. You didn't marry somebody from Calabria. You married in your own township. That's the way they worked it. As the years went by, naturally, generations have changed and life has changed. And as you can see, what we have today, there's an inner pot, a mix of all different races that mix together. Well, anyway, the true pizza, just so you know, is a tomato pie. That's it. It's a tomato pie. That's the true Italian pizza.
What does that mean, tomato pie?
Well, what they did is you had the dough.
The dough.
And the dough is the key of a great pizza. Now, you can go with a deep dish pizza. You can go with a very thin crust. But the only thing that you put on the pizza was the tomato sauce itself.
That's it?
That was it. And some, maybe a little Parmesan cheese. That was it. That was called the tomato pie. As the years went by,
people started adding things.
They started adding things. They had the cheese. Then it's pepperoni pizza. Now they got pineapple pizza, South Philadelphia cheesesteak pizza. They got underwear. People put their underwear.
They
their
have
shoes,
Thai chicken pizza.
Margarita which is
pizza.
fine. But just so you know, the original pizza was a tomato pie. And
was it made by the Italians, or was it like Chinese, like noodles?
Well, the Chinese,
it was peasant food, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And the Chinese people is the ones that really invented pasta.
Noodles,
the noodle, and macaroni. We call it macaroni. That's what we do. But the average customer that's out there, the person that buys the stuff, the number one commodity in the world, just so you know, Dave, every nationality, every race, creed, and color, they buy pizza.
Yeah.
And every store, they got, you got Domino's, there's a million different
Bubalo.
Yeah, you got Brolio or whatever you call it. I mean, I don't buy it, but you know what I mean? But the average person, everybody loves a pizzeria, a real good Italian pizza. So just so you know, but it's the tomato pie was the key. So if you got that on the internet, you definitely want to have Dave, save that recipe so somebody don't steal it.
Well, but what's the key to making the crust?
What's the key to making the crust?
Yeah, because you didn't even tell us, how do you make the crust, whether it's thick or thin?
Well, the whole thing, it all depends how much dough you use and how much you stretch it out. It's like anything else. We made biscottis yesterday. Yeah. And what happened, it's an Italian pastry, Dave. And what we do is, it all depends how you do that. So if you got like a 6-ounce dough or a 4-ounce dough or a 2-ounce or a 5-ounce, that you use. Now, the average pizza for a large pizza would be a 12-ounce dough. That's a large pizza. And naturally, it all depends the yeast, how much you put in there. So there's a combination where it blows up, where you feel, do you want a heavy dough? Do you want a light dough? Me, like the Sicilian pizza is the deep dish pizza.
That's thick.
Okay, yeah, it's a little bit thicker. And it's more like a bread. They got that bread that you eat, But me, and it's true, pizza is phenomenal. Then you got stromboli, which is a...
Stromboli. I love stromboli. Oh, my gosh. David, have you ever had stromboli?
I have. It's delicious.
I had never had it until I met Michael.
Dave, what's your nationality, if I may ask?
What's my nationality? I guess McAdams is Irish.
All right, that's okay. That's all right.
Irish
stew. I love it. I love the Irish stew.
I don't know how that works.
I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to take you out of the realm for just a minute. If you had one more dish to eat, last one, anything you can heart's desire, doesn't make any difference, and a beverage, what would it be?
Doesn't have to be Italian.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be Italian.
Anything.
Anything you want. Last meal and a beverage, what would it be?
Well, I don't know that my wife is listening to this, but I would have to say her chicken piccata recipe that she's cultivated over the years. Beverage, I'm a pretty simple guy. I drink a lot of water, so I would just have to say probably maybe a delicious Pinot Noir. I know that probably doesn't go with the chicken piccata, but that's what I would probably have.
Pinot Pinot Noir goes with a lot of things. Yeah, especially a nice Pinot Noir. I love Pinot Noir.
Ain't that amazing?
Yeah, William Sellium has a wonderful Pinot Noir
Ain't that amazing?
I love.
You know, it's funny. You know, I had a magazine 15, 16 years ago. It was called Las Vegas Image. And as when I would interview people like yourself. I did Jerry Lewis, all the big celebrities. And I would ask them, if you had one more thing to eat, what would you eat? You know, and it was amazing what people would say to me. Jerry Lewis said to me, you get a piece of bread and you cut a hole in it, and you crack an egg in it and you fry it.
Oh, I love that.
He says, and then I said, what would you want as a beverage? He said, an egg cream. And then I talked to Debbie Reynolds. And I said, Debbie, if you had one more thing to eat, what would it be? And she said, a taco and a Coca-Cola. You know,
absolutely.
It's unbelievable. So, like, when you think about it, you know, what would you say? And it shows the character of somebody, because you get people like that have millions and millions, and they're very opulent in their life. And yet, if it was their last meal, look what they would turn around at me. I'm a water drinker, believe it or not, when you mention water. And Avion, for me, I don't know what it is. I love that. That water to me is, now it has no taste, but how can water be delicious?
It's got vodka in it. Anyway, if you're just tuning in now, you're listening to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. And we've also got a very special guest, David McAdams, president of McAdams Tax Advisory Group, telling us all about how to safeguard your digital estate. We'll be right back after a message from our sponsors.
Way to start your day. This is Sandy Kastel and Friends. Here again, your host, Sandy Kastel.
Oh, welcome back to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Mike. Did they hear me? I was just warming up my vocal cords. Anyway, so we are back here with David McAdams, president of McAdams Tax Advisory Group. You know, that is a tongue twister.
You know, 731-1230 is our phone number. 731-1230, area code 702.
Does that mean you want somebody to call?
If somebody would like to call and ask Big Dave any question about this?
That's right.
We would love, I'm sure that Dave will be kind enough
give us a
to tell you what needs to be done. You never know. 731-1230. Please give us a call and you can talk to Dave. So
what happens, you know, so now if you've gone back and re-advised, remade your will or your trust account, I guess, you could put it in your trust account too, right, Dave?
Sure, you could put language in the trust or will,
because a lot of people have trust accounts now. Right. Okay, so if you put something in there, then you'd probably have to address the temporarily. What if somebody's just in the hospital, or what if somebody's had an accident or something? Can they also go in there and have and control everything, help to keep an eye on everything?
Sure, there's a legal document called a power of attorney that can cover financial matters or health matters. And depending on if you're living or dead, the only time the will kicks in is in a death event. So the power of attorney would actually protect you while you're alive. And put in specific language regarding your digital estate in there as well.
It's kind of like, all right. How do you close out these accounts? I mean, once somebody's is there a way to do that?
There is a process, and that's why you need to try to put legal language. The best you can actually hope for is that the language you put in the document actually matches up with the company's rules that they have, and also matches up with the state law. In a worst case scenario, you could actually have to go to court and get a document that you might have to provide. And if you didn't have good languaging in your will or your trust, you may not be able to obtain that proper to court document. That's why this has become such a big mess with people, having Facebook accounts and everything else that they're trying to go after.
How do you find somebody that knows this stuff, though?
Well, we have a website, and we're putting free white papers and information on the website. So there's a growing community of people that will consult and advise their clients on these matters.
Michael, have you ever thought about this?
No, but I had an Uncle Jimmy. He was a collector for the mob back in Philly, seriously, and he would go collect, and he would, my other cousins were loan sharks. So let's say you borrowed $300 or $100. In them days, going back in the '60s, it was if you borrowed $100, it was $10 a week was the juice on a C note on $100. Now, how it works is you got to pay $10 a week, not $10 that comes off the 100, then it's back to 90, and you got to keep paying the 10 until that 100 is paid. And what happens is, like, 1 week goes by, let's say I borrowed borrowed money from him. I said, give me $100. So I pay him $10 a week. But I got to hand him the whole $100 bill, and that stops that juice.
And then what does that have to do with the online thing?
Well, it's the same. It comes out to the same thing because it's you have to have, like what he's trying to do is to collect, because like I said, in cyberspace today, what people have today, it's so complicating, and like I said, once you die, you need this gentleman's services, okay, to accommodate what if you have anything of value.
Well, yeah, but also, what about when Facebook? Some of these sites, they say, whatever you put on Facebook, hey, it's our property now.
Well, some of the sites do call it their property, like some of the email accounts. But a lot of sites are coming up with policies. Like Facebook has an option, if you have the proper permissions in place, where you can actually close out the account, or you can actually set up a memorial wall where the account will stay open and people can post memorial comments, but the account is, for all intents and purposes, fairly inactive for other purposes.
Okay. So it's kind of like, so you set up a different kind of a site. You change it over. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
From a live site to a memorial site, right? Like if you wanted to keep it up.
Now, a company called Password Box has a thing called the Legacy Locker, where you can securely transfer all these passwords and security questions to your so-called digital heir. And then your digital heir, with proper permission, can go in to the Facebook account and determine, with your instructions, hopefully, determine if you wanted to close it or memorialize it. And that's why leaving instructions and leaving detail is becoming a more critical event now. And people are forgetting to update their instructions regularly. They're forgetting to update their passwords.
Well,
I have a separate list of those.
The thing of it is a lot of times you go in and you forget your password, so you have to update it. And then also some sites you have to go in and you can't just use your regular password that you would use, because now you have to add another little symbol to it. So now you add another little symbol, and if you don't keep a record of it somewhere where you keep your passwords, you might forget it. And so then you're always recreating these new passwords and then trying to remember them.
Yeah, so can I give you a thought on that?
Yes, please.
Most attorneys recommend having, if you have a will, you're not going to list every knife and fork and spoon you own. Most people are recommended to keep a list of personal assets and merely reference the list in the will. That allows you to make changes and updates to the list. So in the same respect, when you're talking about the digital estate, many attorneys would advise their clients to actually keep the list of passwords and security questions and everything separate from the will or the power of attorney, so that you can update it and maintain it without having to go rewrite your will. So that's another recommended, I think, best practices when you're considering the best way to manage this problem.
So I don't understand. So if you have the will, but you say, I've got this list over here, and this is the list that I constantly keep updating, whether it's your personal assets or your list of passwords, right?
Right.
And then, so you're keeping that somewhere. Where's that, but then what happens if then you don't, you have to get that back with the will, right?
Well,
somehow.
no. So, for example, if you were going to have
keep it separate so they can find
assets,
it,
like your coffee table, your car, things like that, keepsakes, you would usually just have a general reference in the will, but have a separate list of all those personal assets. That allows people to change their mind about who gets what, without having to go see the attorney again. So when you're talking about your digital estate, you're taking that same concept and you're just applying it to all your passwords and security questions, where the will reference, let's say you want to give a brother or a parent or a spouse access to that information. You could give them the legal languaging in the legal document that they are, in fact, able to have access to that. But then you're not going to spell out every account and every password in the will itself. Does that make sense?
Yes. I think Chef Michael has something he wants to say.
No, nothing. I think it's fantastic, and again, like I'm saying, how would anybody, if they want to get a hold of you, what website, what does the people need to do to contact you?
It's a long website here.
Yeah, it's McAdams, McAdams, McAdamstaxadvisory.com.
Okay. All this other stuff behind it is just for one of the specific pages.
Right. Well, that's marvelous, and I tell you, yeah, it's good. What he's saying is really, really very, very interesting. You know, people that are really into cyberspace. I mean, when I'm listening to you, and me, I'm totally lost. You know, we don't talk about a recipe. I'm right up there with you. Music, you know, but this is like it's so for me. It's a little lost. But
foreign?
Anyway, I would say foreign. You know, the average guy. You know, but again, services that he's providing, I think, is a necessity, and for anyone that is in a market for that, they need to call him immediately.
Yeah, because you don't think about these things.
No, we don't.
This is something that you don't think about until it's too late, and then then you don't know what to do. You've got all this information out there, and it's like you said, even trying to close out accounts, and especially now that a lot of people are doing their billing and stuff like that online, and they're not getting the bills, physical bills. If they do that, then you have to have access to go onto their accounts and be able to pull up everything.
Sandy, if I can tell,
I know because I've been through this with my the people we've lost.
One thing I've seen is a major change in our practice. 10, 15 years ago, if we had a 75-year-old retiree in our office and we referenced anything having to do with a computer, a lot of times they would look at you with a blank stare and say, I don't even own one.
Right.
Today it's not uncommon to have an 80-year-old pull out their iPad in the middle of their meeting and log into their brokerage account and their investment statements right there in the middle of the meeting.
Right.
My 74-year-old dad is on Facebook and texts me constantly. So that's how much things have changed in the last decade. It's just a new frontier.
And just like Skype, people are on Skype now. They communicate with their grandkids across the country, across the world.
See, when I was a kid, my father, there was not such thing as computers.
No.
Cellular phones.
Well,
I could have been
Ice Age.
9 blocks away. I could have been maybe a mile and a half away. And my father opened up the door and said, yo, it's time for dinner. Let's go.
That's why.
If I wasn't home, by the time he shut the door, what a beating I got. And I heard my father 2 miles away.
That's why Michael does that in the grocery store. I'm on the other side of the grocery store. I hear, hey, San. I'm like, what are you doing yelling in the grocery store? It's like...
oh, it's my culture. You know something? I watched the movie Scrooge with Mr. Fezziwig, 1952 with Alistair Sims. And he didn't want to change. He said, Mr. Fezziwig, things are changing. No, I said, I guess I got to go out with the old ways. He said, well, I'm like Mr. Fezziwig.
He wanted to protect his clients and the people that were working for him.
Right, exactly.
But he wasn't advancing with the times.
No,
at all.
Right. And today, like I'm saying, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, today people, they destroy your life. They go on Facebook. They tell you how they got up in the morning, if they have problems with their husbands. Sometimes some things are best just to be quiet, just to leave it to the imagination.
You know what, David, you have seminars and stuff for people to go to so they can learn about this.
We do. We have a lot of educational workshops, and I speak to a lot of groups in the Memphis area primarily. So, but in addition to that, a lot of the information can be found on the website, or there's a link to request more information, such as some of these lists that you can find on best practices and other information like that.
Well, I definitely think this is something important for all of us to check out. So be sure and go to the website, which is McAdamsTaxAdvisory.com. That's McAdams taxadvisory.com, and learn about how to take care of your digital estate. Very important thing that we don't think about. So check it out. And I want to thank you, David, for joining us here on Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael.
Thank you, Dave. Have a happy Thanksgiving, my friend.
You too. Thank you so much for having me, guys. Have a great afternoon.
Be sure and call back and give us a shout out, okay?
We'll do it. Thank
you. Okie dokie.
So much.
Thanks. If you're just tuning in now, you're listening to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. And Chef, I was wondering, we were just making those biscottis yesterday with, with Dianna Pasqual for the TV show. I'm so excited.
Oh, man, it's
and we got
great.
you and Dr. Perry in the kitchen. Oh my gosh,
funny.
that was so fun. I can't wait till everybody sees that. Anyway, we'll be right back after a message from our sponsor.
Yeah, we're going to talk about all kinds of soup cans.
Santa baby,
more recipes, more fun. This is Sandy Kastel and Friends. Here again, your host, Sandy Kastel.
Hi, and welcome back to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael.
Oh, yeah, baby. I can't wait. I'm so excited, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. The big day's Thanksgiving. Oh, yeah, baby. I got a 25-pound turkey, 30-pound ham. I'm making the homemade ravioli. So I said to Sandy today, I said, Sandy, what are we going to do for Thanksgiving, with the radio show?
What do you mean, what are we going to do?
You know something? This girl's dragging me out of the kitchen to come to the studio. So, and I said, you know what I'm going to do? For the hour that we're going to spend, we're going to talk about fun and the cooking, how to make the turkey, what you need to do to make the turkey.
Turkey?
For Thanksgiving. We're here Thanksgiving morning, right? And we coming Thanksgiving?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So what are you going to do?
Well,
you're going to talk about the turkey, how to make the turkey?
How to make the turkey.
Oh, how exciting. So you can actually walk people through it, so they can do it along with you.
Right. Carl, our friend Carl Grosso, the billionaire.
Well, he said he was hoping that you would tell him how to make the turkey.
And
so now you could do it. But, isn't he going to be having to do that like 4 o'clock in the morning, though?
No. He won't do it. I'll be up at 4 o'clock because what happens is when you talk about 25-pounders, for me, the way I make it, you're looking at 6.5 hours in the oven covered.
But, as Steve brought up yesterday, he says if you do not put the stuffing inside the turkey, it cuts down the cooking for about an hour.
Of course it does.
Which can make a big difference. And then you can cook your stuffing like stovetop stuffing.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. It's a little bit different because when you hear my stuffing the way I make it, that's my father's, not my grandmother.
Yeah, but what about my grandmother's stuffing?
Well, no, I'm just saying that's
oh my
it's not
gosh,
that it's bad.
She put oysters in it.
Well, it's okay. People put sausage in it. Believe it or not, the sausage they take it out of this casing.
But the thing of it is you got to cook it first. Sometimes you can't just put all that stuff in there raw.
No.
You've got to cook the onions. Tell them how you cook that stuff.
Well, I got to tell you something, folks, and this is the base of all the stuff that I do anytime you stuff something. You get your celery, you get your onion with butter. Celery, onion, and butter, and you dice. You got a food processor, which is better, and you process. You throw your.
If you don't want it a little chunky.
Yeah, and what you do is you don't blend it, liquefy it, but you just chop it very fine.
A little bit, yeah.
Then you saute it in butter. You say, well, Mike, I want let's go with a 12-pound turkey.
Then if you chop up the onions that way, though, you don't get to cry.
Yes, you're right.
It's really good to cry. Even
I cry when I pick up the bill from Smith's every time I go to the store. So what happens is you saute that in your butter. When that cools off, that is your base to put to the stovetop stuffing with your egg, because that's why it's moist. Because when listen, I tasted people's stuffings. You know what I'm trying to say to you? When it becomes dry, you overcooked it. You didn't make it right. I was watching Rachel Ray on TV.
Rachel Ray?
I was watching it on TV.
Oh my God!
And she made this breasted turkey breast. I watched when she cut it. You could have bounced it off the wall. It was dry. When you get a turkey or a piece of chicken, and if it's not moist,
that's right,
you overcooked it.
Right.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, a oven is not a humidifier. I'm thinking of my cigars. As a dehydrator. An oven is a dehydrator, and what happens is it dries stuff out if you don't cook it in the proper fashion, in the proper way. And when you cook on a stove with a gas stove, it's just like a welder. You have to set your gauge. Okay, sometimes people cook too low, too high. You have to know how to work your jets when you're working with a gas stove. Isn't that exciting?
What about an electric stove?
I hate electric stoves. Lisa Grasso's got one.
Yeah, but you liked it.
Well,
and then it's really interesting because you could just put your hand down and it wouldn't burn you.
I understand that, but every professional
I like gas stoves myself.
Gas stove is where it's at. Yeah. And like I said, today, because everybody has their way. Yes, homes.
Speaking of homes, I not everybody out there knows this, but I did get my real estate license again this year.
That's right.
I know. So excited. And I'm working with Keller Williams, Southern Nevada, which is actually, I'm working out of the office over in Henderson, just because I know the people over there, Jimmy Dague and all the gang. And, but, I'm helping people sell their homes now.
So they can call you for a listing and you can sell a house?
They can call me to come and do a listing for them. In fact, I'm going to put my dad's house on the market for him.
Our house is on the market too?
Yes, the big house in Canyon Gate Estate.
So if anybody happens to have $2,500,000, give us a call.
No, give me a call.
Yeah, give her a call. She's a real estate guy.
702-348-5707. That's 702-348-5707. Yes, we are. Yes, the house in Canyon Gate Estates, which we've had so many beautiful events at. Yes. And I built that house, Michael. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
I built that house.
Remind me every friggin' day.
Moved into it in 2001. And it is it's a beautiful home. It's gotten a little big for me now.
How long did it take you?
And it's got 3 levels. Right. it's got a beautiful studio downstairs, a wine cellar. It's got a pool room. And upstairs, it has a beautiful master suite, and then it has two master suites.
Yes.
It actually has one upstairs, one downstairs. It has, it has a loft. It has an office. Right. It has a gym, but those are also bedrooms too.
But
so
Sandy,
it's like a 4 or 5 bedroom. What is it? 4-bedroom home, 5 baths, and it's on a double fairway, the 18th.
15-car garage.
Fairway. Yeah, well, not 15 cars.
16.
No, it's only 3-car garage. But it's a large 3-car garage because you also have room for the golf cart.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a 4.5.
Right.
4.5.
For $2
and
million.
3/4 because it has the other section over there where you can put all the stuff.
So for $2,500,000, you can find yourself a nice home that you can get lost in. You need a Geiger counter and you need a GPS to find your way to the bathroom around that house.
Yeah, and actually
10,000 square feet.
But actually, I also can help buyers looking for a home too, because I'm looking for a house that's around 3,000 or 4,000 square feet. That's a single level home, so I don't have to go up and downstairs.
And I got to tell you something. And I'm not embarrassed to say this.
You're not.
No, I'm not. As years go by, you can stay
healthy. About anything?
No, I'm not. My knees, for some reason.
Your knees, oy vey.
Walking up the steps. I'm telling you something. It's a little difficult as the years go by. Getting up. Will you stop?
Crack.
Getting up in the morning, walking up, because all the clothes, walking upstairs.
That's what happens when you get over 60.
Well, I'm 60.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
You know something? I'm going to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I'm 62. You know what I mean? And I still got heat in these hands.
Heat in these hands. You
in these
sure
hands,
do.
I got a lot of heat in them hands.
What? Speaking of heat, we've got a hot event coming up.
Oh, mamma mia.
December the 13th, we have a WEMA event, a fundraiser event, and we are going to be giving away another scholarship. I'm so excited. So you got to come out December 13th, and this is going to be the last big event of the year, 2014, at Canyon Gate Estates. Yeah. So join us. Give me a call, 702-348-5707, or you can go on and you can send us an RSVP.
Right.
At RSVP
we got
at WEMAFoundation.org. RSVP at WEMA, WIMA Foundation.org. Let us know if you're going to attend, because we only have limited seating.
150, that's it.
And the max is 150, and that
people.
is it. That's the tops. No more than 150 people can be there. And so give us a call. It's only $35
Open
for
bar.
the ticket. We've got jazz and we've got opera.
And
my dad and his band is going to be there.
Included.
And Mark Thompson is going to have the opera guys there, and girls. And it should be a lot of fun. And the food is going to be prepared by none other than Chef Michael, Cafe de Cebu, and Truffles and Bacon.
Yeah, so we got a big
So we're going to have a variety of food and wine, and it's going to be just a beautiful event. So please join us at December 13th. Mark it on your calendar.
You know what's funny? People say, Mike, why do you charge so cheap? Well, I don't understand it. You know why? Because we make it affordable. Sandy and I go out all the time. We go out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The only time we eat at home is on Sunday, because that's Sandy's mom and dad. They love to come over for Sunday cooking.
That's right.
And Alex
Sunday
Yanko
dinner.
come over the Grossos. Sunday dinner at the house. Now, for me, I personally enjoy that. That's my bag. Some guys like to go on the golf course, and that's their thing. They'll get up in the morning and they want to tee off. Me, I want to get up and start chopping onions. I mean, that for me, that's very enjoyable.
Well, you know what Alex Yanko likes to do? He gets up and he goes out and he starts working on somebody's house.
Yep.
Or he does all kinds of things. He's got the everyday home improvement.
Love it.
And in fact, he's gonna be helping us. Whatever place we find, he's gonna help us to fix it up.
Well,
if we get a fixer-upper.
He's the best. But the most important thing is everybody knows we're going to open up a supper club. We've been looking. It's the right place at the right time. And what's nice about this, and I was talking to Mark Jehovah yesterday.
Yeah.
And I called him on the phone to wish him a very happy holidays, and we were talking. And the kid, and I said, Mark is great. And I want to tell you something. Everybody knows I'm very, very opinionated.
You?
Yes, I am.
Never.
And I don't care. I tell it like it is. I mean, I don't care about being politically correct. I ain't looking for friends. You know what I mean? A true friend tells it like it is. Period. That's the bottom line. I said, Mark, I got to tell you something, son. I love the way you sing. Because if I didn't like you wouldn't have been in the show. The singers that I know, Paris Red is a phenomenal
amazing
singer.
Cece Spencer. Adorable.
Corey Sachs. I went back with Corey. Worked with me at the Riviera Hotel, and it's on the air.
Monique Brewster. Oh my gosh.
Monique, phenomenal
amazing
singer.
Voice. Yes.
Peter Pavone, David DaCosta. There's only a
Right.
I'm going to say I don't know the kid that well. You know what I mean? What's the kid's name? What's Cole's husband? He's always singing at the Smith Center.
Oh, Clint Holmes?
Yeah, Clint.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's the Clint Holmes, Jerry Tiffy, T. Fox.
Oh,
you know,
T. Fox
I'm
is
being
amazing.
honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, I could sit here for an
T.
hour.
Fox is the number. I tell you, he's an amazing entertainer.
I could sit here for an hour and tell you who I don't like, who should not be performing. But, you know, I don't like to do... I don't like to just push your hand over my mouth. Stop it. I don't like to do that. I don't want to knock anybody down.
No.
I don't like to do that.
We've
But
got
there's a lot of
great
people
performers here in Las Vegas. We're very fortunate.
They're nice kids. They're really nice.
We've got somebody on the phone.
Joey D from Italy. What's up, Joey?
Hey, Mikey, I love you. Thank you for your happy Thanksgiving wish. Say hi to Miss Sandy.
Hi, Joey.
Hi, Joey. What's up, buddy?
Trisha and I send our best wishes to you.
Well, we thank you. I heard you're a cook now.
Okay, you guys have a great day.
Well, you didn't hear me.
Okay,
All right,
bye, Joey.
Bye, Joey. Love you. That's Joey DeMiglio, my very dear friend, Joey. He's the only guy seeing him bench press 9,000 pounds.
Sounds like he's working.
Yeah, he bench pressed 9,000 pounds.
9,000.
9,000. I couldn't believe it. It was a semi truck. He had in one hand, just lifted it.
Wow. Well, listen, I also want to send a shout out to Dianna and Dr. Perry. They're up in San Francisco right now.
San Francisco.
But they are listening in.
My
They're listening into our show. She said they landed in San Francisco this morning, and they're so excited. So, we had such a wonderful time yesterday, and that's going to be on the TV show coming up soon. And everybody can check us out, Thursdays and Saturdays, and we're on, all these channels. So all you have to do is check out our Facebook page, and you can find the listing of where we're going to be on TV. And you're going to be seeing Dianna Pasqual is going to show us how to make biscotti, and we get Chef Michael and Dr. Perry in there, and we've got them making biscotti. And you know what? Chef Michael never baked before, but now he baked.
True. Last night when I said, saying I didn't want to be in the shot.
No, he didn't want to be in.
I said, I don't bake. I feel like a Mama Luke.
I had to drag him in, kicking and screaming to the kitchen.
Do it. I said, look,
can you imagine dragging him into the kitchen? I mean,
well, it's a funny thing. I'm a firm believer in something. What I'm good at, I know what I'm good at. I don't bake. It's not my thing.
Yeah, but see, it's good for you to experience new things.
Yeah,
Michael.
I cut the dough.
Yeah, you cut the dough.
I cut the biscotti. That's what I did. I cut the dough. Because what comes to baking ain't like cooking. You got to be precise.
But I understand you were having dreams of biscotti.
I was dreaming of biscotti. Dreaming good. You know, but for those that don't know what a biscotti is, it's the same thing you put in tiramisu.
It is?
Yes, ma'am.
That's right. It is. You put the biscotti in the tiramisu. Then you pour all the wine and stuff.
Well, not the wine,
or the sherry or the.
Well, not the sherry. It's
what is it?
The coffee
vodka?
No vodka.
You put something in it.
You got to put the mascarpone cheese. You know, I tell you.
No, but you put some alcohol in it too.
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, because the first time I did it.
Oh wait, I think it's amaretto.
The recipe actually says use whatever you want, and so I did, but it tasted terrible. So there actually are certain things that are better to go.
You're Irish. You put beer in it.
I did put beer in it. Anyway, if you're just tuning in now, you're listening to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael.
Oh yeah,
we'll
baby.
Be right back after a message from our sponsors.
Thanksgiving. I want some Christmas music coming back. I'm in the spirit. Let's do it. Shh. Tell me to be quiet. I'm having fun.
I am the founding chairman of the Las Vegas Railroad Society, and we like to let everybody know to be sure to listen to Sandy Kastel and Friends and Chef Michael every day.
Everybody's a winner. This is Sandy Kastel and Friends. Here again, your host, Sandy Kastel.
Hi, and welcome back to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. You know what? If Neil Colmaneras is listening out there, Lisa Grosso and the Grossos want to invite you to the New Year's Eve party.
Yeah, baby.
So you got to give them a call. Let them know you're available. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Carl.
Hey,
what are you guys
buddy.
doing?
They're getting ready for the bird.
They're getting ready, I know.
Lisa said, you don't make these birds right, Carl, I'll make your life miserable.
No, it should be fun. He's going to have a great time at it.
Let me tell you something. I always joke about Carl Grosso. I always tease him.
I know.
But he's a good sport because the average guy would get really aggravated. Say, that's enough, But you know what I mean? And he's got a great sense of humor. He's got a good heart. Both those kids are really nice kids.
You know who else is really great is Gigi. You know, Gigi Ullman
is the best.
You know, she's going to be donating something for our WEMA fundraiser coming up on December 13th, and it'll be a picture that can be auctioned off like she did last time. And we really appreciate everything that Gigi does for us, you know, for WEMA. And we want to thank all of our supporters of WEMA, Women in Music and Arts. We actually have a lot of men in the organization now, so we call it Women and Men in Music and Arts. And you can go to WIMAFoundation.org. That's WIMA Foundation.org. And you can become a member for just $35 a year. And also you can come to our monthly mixers and events and different events that we have throughout the year and support us and help us raise money for scholarships. We've already given out scholarships this year to the UNLV jazz program, to the Nevada Ballet, to the International Opera Performing Experience. So we've got another scholarship coming up before the end of the year. I'm so excited.
Let me say this, everybody.
Who will it be?
We're getting to the Christmas holidays.
We are.
And I want to give you a little tip because there's people that are out there.
A tip?
Yeah.
Can I get a tip?
You can.
Okay. Don't take any wooden nickels,
you
right?
You need to lighten up on people. Listen to me. You need to lighten up.
That's right. It's the holidays.
It's the holidays.
Be kind.
Don't worry about what
forgiving.
Don't worry about what people did or what they said.
Be loving.
Be loving. You know, it's a shame because I was saying to Sandy earlier this morning. I says, and I'm a man that's of great faith. I had to go through trials to get to the faith where I'm at today.
Sometimes you have to overlook some of the things that people have done to you over the years.
There was a Palm Sunday. Jesus walked down and they praised him. They were cheering him. And 7 days later, they hung this guy on a cross. Nobody stepped up to the plate to help this guy. So when people treat you bad and they say bad things and they want to go and they want to write letters and they want to call their neighbors
behind your back.
They want to talk behind your back and all that BS. You got listen to me. What I like to do is sometimes just grab them and give them a beating. But you can't do that these days. What you just got to do is you got to forgive them. Give them a hug instead. And I'm going to tell you something. Vengeance is mine,
sometimes it's hard to do that.
Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. And I'm telling you, you're not going to get away with what you've done to somebody. And I'm telling you, before you die, God will make sure that the justice will be served.
Michael, now there's a lot of different ways that people deal with that.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes, sometimes it's hard to forgive people in your heart because, because you have such hurt feelings about something that somebody did. Right. And the bottom line is sometimes people don't realize what they're doing, and they're caught up in whatever it is that's going on in their life at the moment. And there's a lot of different ways you can deal with it. You can just forgive them. It's funny. You were saying something the other day. Somebody you said had said something about somebody else, and you said, "Look, there's that guy over there, and he's laughing and he's having a good time. Whatever you're harboring in your heart, and you're feeling that that anger or that about what he did to you, you feeling that is just keeping it bottled up inside, or it's just creating all this angst in you, and that's not good either. You got to let that stuff go because the other person, they're living their lives. They're doing their thing. And whatever's meant to be and happen in this world, if you want to talk about karma, that's up to us to, individually deal with that and know what's good in our hearts and wish everybody well this holiday season.
It's easy to judge somebody.
It is easy to judge
somebody. And people do that all the time with people.
If you haven't walked in somebody's shoes and you don't really know the truth of the situation.
Or what happened, or who said what. Happened. Or, you really don't know. But people are quick to jump and knock you down. Right. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what we're here to do with this radio show is to bring happiness, enjoyment, and fun to you. Do you understand?
Happiness.
Right. This ain't the Howard Stern show.
You're supposed to be laughing and having a good time.
And that's what it's. It's a variety show. The TV's a variety show.
And when you smile and you laugh in your heart and you smile on your face,
And I tell you the truth, I don't want to come in Thanksgiving, and I don't. I want to say, but guess what?
I want to come in.
We're going to. Yeah, you'll go for an opening of an envelope.
But Ryan, you've got to be here anyway, right?
But he's coming in for us. But
just us.
Yeah, just us.
Well, you could always come over to the house. We could do it from there.
I wish
we could just bring all the equipment over there.
That's what I wanted to shoot it at. Was it there? But the quality is bad. The sound's not bad. That's the reason why we don't do it. That would have been perfect. Anyway, what I wanted to say, thank you. We want to say thank you, and we love you, and we care about the people that listen in.
That's right.
Okay, we care, and I'm telling you, and many many hundreds and hundreds of people, thousands, whatever, that we listen into this program, and I want to thank you for doing it. Even if it's just one
that we put a smile on their face.
That's what it's all about. We can't save everybody.
Well, sometimes you just have a bad day and you need somebody to listen to.
And we're the people, right?
That you don't know what to expect that they're going to say. Somebody like Chef Michael.
Right. That's what I'm talking
Anyway,
about.
we love you guys. Have a great day.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Do we have to go? Do we have to go now?
Yeah,
Again, check us out on YouTube this afternoon, and we'll see you again here tomorrow on KLAV Lotus Broadcasting. Bye.
Santa baby.